Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Simona and I'm from India. It's been close to 4 years that I've moved to Thunder Bay. Oh, I was really afraid of the day I would be asked to share my testimony in church. But God has His perfect timing of getting us out of our comfort zone. So I'm just going to share very briefly of how I accepted Christ and what God has done in my life. So I was born and raised Roman Catholic, but I never developed a personal and intimate relationship with God. Growing up, I just had one dream of becoming a flight attendant, and that was my only goal. And in 2007, I was selected to be the flight attendant of a leading airline. And being the youngest in my family, my family was very protective about me. But once I got into the world of being a flight attendant, it was a whole new world. And I just felt like I now have the freedom to do what I want to do. I then got into the influence of some co-workers, and then I was led into a life of sin and alcohol, going to nightclubs, and just getting attention, being the center of attention was all that I really thrived on. And one day, I just got to know that some of the people who I considered like my really, really close friends were defaming me. Like they were speaking things about me, and it just really broke my heart. It completely broke me and shattered me, and I thought the very people who I thought were my close friends are saying these things about me. But when I paused and I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I've given them every reason to say what they are saying, and most of it is true. So there's this emptiness that filled me, this void that nothing could satisfy me or fill it. And shortly after that, my sister, she introduced me to her Christian friend who was a dentist, as I had to get my tooth extracted. And while I developed a friendship with this girl, she invited me to life group. And once I went to the life group, that's when Jesus really opened the eyes of my heart. And that is when my journey of true repentance towards God began, and I accepted Christ into my life. And I eventually got baptized in 2013. And after that, I thought my life was just going to be amazing and smooth sailing, which it was. So in 2015, I eventually resigned from being a flight attendant. In 2018, I reconnected with my now husband and we got married. In May 2019, I moved to Thunder Bay. And then in October 2020, here in Thunder Bay, my life fell apart. So I came in for a mental illness and I lost all contact with reality. It was a very dark time for me and my husband, for we were walking with the Lord and not expecting this. Completely shattered both of us. But even during this time, God made us aware of His presence. When my husband took me to the emerge of the hospital, we were connected with a doctor, a psychiatrist, who was an Indian doctor and was from the same hometown as my husband. And he was able to speak to my husband in the same regional language, Malayalam, and was able to comfort him during this time. And that is when he realized that God is with us through this. So shortly after that, I was put on very heavy and strong medication in order to stabilize me. And it had a lot of side effects. It numbed my brain and made me completely lifeless. And I could feel no emotion except anger towards God. Like, I trusted you, I walked with you, and this is what I get. You did not protect me. And during that time, God was still ministering to me. He brought the right people into my life to encourage me. The church family supported me and stood by me through this very difficult time. And I feel like God has brought me to a level of new closeness with Him, which I never had before. And even after that, thoughts of anxiety and fear tormented me from time to time. There was a voice that constantly said, "It has happened. It is going to happen again. It will happen again. God allowed for it to happen." And I kept battling those thoughts and bringing it to God. And now I can God has brought me to this point where I can confidently say without a doubt that it is not going to happen again. And even if it does, and God allows for it to happen, it will happen in His perfect will. And He will give me the strength to endure it. So I've faced like my worst fear, and there is fear no more. So yeah, I just really trust God in that. And just as in the book of Daniel, when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were going to be thrown into the blazing fire by King Nebuchadnezzar, and they told the king that our God will save us from this fire. But even if He doesn't, we will choose to trust and worship our own God. The two promise verses that really I was clinging on to during this difficult time and helped me overcome it was, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. And another Bible verse is, perfect love casts out all fear. Thank you.